Alright there guys, welcome back to the channel. So this video is going to be about the David Ornstein paragraph that we had in the transfer daily sheet over on The Athletic today. I'm sure you've heard all about it before, but I'm going to add a little bit of a little twist to it to show who actually is the best fit out of the names that are going around on social media for Liverpool. But before I get to that, just a little quick reminder for you to like this video if you do enjoy it. Leave me a comment to let me know your thoughts on the players we're about to cover. And also, if you are new here, subscribe to the channel to keep up to date with everything else I've got going on. And lastly, guys, if you are a member, please use those emojis in the comments down below. And yeah, let's see if you like them, basically. So this all stems from the article on the transfer deal sheet that The Athletic have run today. And there's a little bit here from David Ornstein. I'm not going to read the whole thing out to you because a lot of it's not what we need to really talk about. However, what we will say is that yesterday on the AKM live stream, we spoke about how Arne Slot had said that the calibre of player to come in for Liverpool to buy is pretty high. And if they can't find that player, they ain't going to sign nobody. Last night also, it came out that Manchester United had pulled out or cooled their interest, shall we say, in Manuel Ugarte, a player that Liverpool have shown interest in for about a year and a half now. And then literally less than 24 hours later, David Ornstein comes out with this and people are thinking there's a connection there. He is one of the players we're going to cover, but there's a few others as well. Anyway, the bits I wanted to touch on was this. Slot has used Endo, Szoboszlai and Gravenberch in the number 6 position during the tour, in which Liverpool won all 3 of their games. Despite Slot's praising of Gravenberch's performance in the friendly against United, Liverpool have now identified a target in that position. It is worth keeping an eye on this situation this week, with Liverpool pursuing a specialist 6 from outside the Premier League. They have turned down bids for Endo this summer, in part because of the tricky market in that position, but are now moving ahead with a signing for that role. So before we start looking at the stats of the players that I've written down here, couple of bits. Endo, they've turned down bids because they can't buy nobody. If somebody comes in, I see Endo getting sold. That's just how I see it going a little bit. The fact it's somebody from outside the Premier League kind of narrows down where we're going to be looking. And also, you know, they've used a number of players in this position to see if there's anybody that could kind of fit there. And then maybe they've come to the conclusion that, yeah, it ain't working, we need to bring somebody in, right? So, guys, the names that have been doing the rounds on social media today have been Manuel Ugarte at PSG, Martin Zubamendi from Real Sociedad, Edison at Atlanta, and Alan Varela from Porto. Now, here's the stat sheet that I've got here. As you can see, it's all colour coordinated. So the blue is Varela, the pinky red is Edison, the green is Ugarte, and the yellowy orange is Zubamendi. Now, one thing you can see straight away from this is Ugarte is completely different profile of player from the other 3 players. He's more heavily towards the defending side and not so much as the forward passing, key passing type of player, which is somebody that Arne Slot wants for this role. It needs to be somebody that can win the ball with their back to the rest of the pitch and do a turn and be able to play the ball forward, and be able, because they're in that position as well, they need to be able to keep control of the ball while under pressure. So here we go again. The ages are here. So starting at the eldest is Zubamendi at 25. Again, we had an article only last week where they were saying that Liverpool were looking at players 24 and under. So is he potentially over the age limit now? I'm not so sure. Edison at 24, Ugarte at 23, and Varela at 22. Now, moving over to the duel percentage. As you can see there, Zubamendi is a lot better at the duels than all the other ones. Edison and Ugarte are joint the same, practically bang on, and Varela is the weakest out of the 4 of them. Defensive actions, we've already touched on this. Ugarte is the highest out of all of them, followed by Edison, Varela, and then Zubamendi. Progressive carries, so this is when someone runs forward with the ball a lot more and keeps hold of it. Zubamendi is way above the other ones, so that is something that Slot is looking for in this type of player. Followed by Ugarte, then Varela, and then Edison. Forward passes, Edison is number 1, followed by Varela, then Zubamendi. and then Ugarte, which is what we've shown already, that Ugarte is more of a destroyer who then passes the ball on. Forward key pass percentage, you've got Varela at top, Zubamendi second, Edison at third, and then Ugarte again way below the other three. Key passes, so this is like putting key passes into the ball, open up the play, assists, passes that lead to penalties, free kicks, a lot like that. Varela way above all the others, followed by Edison, and then Ugarte and Zubamendi are both the same. And then progressive passes, so this is the balls going forward. Edison is way above all of them at 87.8, Varela at 60.1, and followed by Zubamendi, and then lastly by Ugarte. And then obviously the minutes are there, guys. They're all round about the same, apart from Edison played a lot more minutes than the other three. So, judging by these stats, guys, who would you pick out of them, of the four of them? For me, going off what we've heard of what Arne Slot wants for this position, I would say, going off the stats, Ugarte, you wipe him out because he's not the profile of player that Liverpool are looking for. Zubamendi has been able to keep hold of the ball and move forward with it and carry the ball forward. However, he is lacking in a couple of the other areas. So he would be third out of the three of these for me. And then, I'm going to say Zubamendi again then. Varela, for me, again, he is a lot younger than Edison. He potentially may have a higher ceiling than Edison as well, just by age. He is of a similar profile to Edison as well, and he excels in certain instances over Edison regarding like forward passes and key passes, forward pass percentage completion, and progressive carries as well. He is a lot better than him in that aspect. However, he does come down a fair bit compared to Edison in the dual percentage and the defensive actions and stuff like that in regards to the defensive part of the role. So, since we're probably going to... This is the player that's coming in as a specialist sixth, playing alongside maybe a McAllister or an Alexander-Arnold for me. Out of the four of these, Edison would be my number one overall. You know, he is the overall that can do a bit of everything. Varela would be my second choice. Zubamendi would be third, and Ugarte for me would be last out of all of these, just going off the stats, guys. But there is other players you could be looking at as well here. You could be looking at, you know, Andre Fluminense. That deal for Fulham still not gone through. He almost signed for Liverpool last summer. That could be one that we could look at. There's the sporting player from Sweden, I think it is, or is he from Denmark or something? Hoyland or something like that, Hoymeland, something like that. It could be to look at him as well. But they are the four main names that have been doing the rounds, guys, regarding the number 6 position for Liverpool. Let me know down below what you think on that. Do them stats change your opinion? I have seen a lot of Liverpool fans preferring Ugarte, but does this change how you feel? You know, Ugarte would have that destructive, destroyer sort of aspect to his game. Could he learn the rest of it under Arne Slot? Or do you go for Edison that's got a little bit of everything, and then you can just basically expand on them, just like a Varela, you expand on them and make him better at all what he's already good at? I would say it's one of the two of them two. Out of the four of them that have been doing the rounds, I would say it's Edison or Varela that you'd look at for this position. But again, knowing Liverpool, knowing Michael Edwards, it'll be somebody that nobody's ever heard of. Yeah, so let's wait and see, guys. They've said that we might see some updates this week. Who knows? It might be time for Paul Joyce to make an appearance now that David Ornstein has gone today. But if he does, guys, I'll be back with a video covering that for you later on. But until then, I'll catch you in the next one.